The local evening news is brought to you by Nagico, local agents Bryson's Insurance.
Good evening, welcome to the news. Wherever you're watching from, online or TV, we're glad to have you. We got a busy newscast ahead, so let's go straight into it. We begin with the latest on this story told you about yesterday. Cabinet has relieved Antigua and Barbuda's ambassador to the African Union, Johan Hesse, of his duties after he failed to disclose that a US $450,000 introductory fee was paid to his business partner in connection with the 2024 sale of the Alfa Nero super yacht. Well, Prime Minister John Gaston Brown spoke on the matter on the Brown & Brown show Saturday. He insists there's no evidence of illegality, but says the failure to disclose that payment left the government flat-footed, while he and his family were being maligned publicly.
The Prime Minister says this isn't about illegality, it's about timing and disclosure. After a payment tied to the Alfa Nero sale surfaced in court filings and sparked a fresh wave of public allegations. He says, had the government been aware, it could have addressed the issue in early letters with lawyers from the other side.
But we weren't able to provide any response to it because, in fact, we dismissed it as it was a fabricated story. So what the cabinet decided last Wednesday was to relieve him of his ambassadorial appointment. And I don't know if there's any further action that we can take. There's no evidence of illegality. It's just an issue that we felt that he should have notified.
The Prime Minister says Cabinet only learned the details after the filings and that Hesse had a responsibility to flag the issue earlier, especially with claims swirling publicly for months.
We never paid him, so he said, look, even though he was an unpaid ambassador for the country, the African Union, which was more symbolic than anything else. We did that back in 2014 when we first came to office. He said that that is how he makes his living. So on the face of it, we didn't think that, we could go any further with it, other than we felt that he had an obligation to disclose sooner because the matter was in the public domain for several months.
Meanwhile, Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan says the legal team is already moving, with filings being prepared as the government continues to insist the Alfa Nero sale was handled properly.
Well, we're working on it. In fact, the 4 lawyers from the ladies' chambers and myself had a meeting from 2 o'clock to about 4 o'clock today at my home, drafting the necessary. We've already drafted the notice of objection. Okay. We're now drafting the affidavit in response. And I've also discussed it with Dr. Court, as I indicated to you. So we'll be ready to file our affidavit response by Tuesday.
Prime Minister Brown maintains there's no proof of criminal wrongdoing here, but says the government couldn't defend what it didn't know. Jamie J. Roche, ABS News.
In other news, the Foreign Affairs Minister says government is keeping a close eye on Cuba's fuel shortage and what it could mean for Antiguan students studying there. Minister E.P. Jetgreen says the government is in constant contact with students through Antigua and Barbuda's ambassador to Cuba, George Goodwin, and through ongoing talks with Cuban officials.
The ambassador is in direct daily contact with the students. With one student who is student leader, that student is being canvassed every day and spoken to. And I know that Ambassador Goodwin, Permanent Secretary Pilgrim, had a meeting last Friday with the students, and that there's an ongoing process.
Cuba's fuel crisis has been affecting daily life, including transportation and aviation, with reports pointing to halted Venezuelan oil shipments and U.S. sanctions among the major factors. Minister Green says the issue is also being discussed at the CARICOM level as countries across the region watch the developments.
Whatever you see happens will most likely happen across the CARICOM platform. The thing is that some students are in the final year, and naturally they want to see how long they can hold.
The Foreign Affairs Minister confirms more than 30 Antiguans, most of them medical students, are currently studying in Cuba. Many are in their final year, while others are doing specialized training. Meanwhile, reports indicate a handful of Jamaican students have left Cuba, citing disruption linked to the fuel crisis. Well, health officials are commending Sandals Foundation and the Great Shape Incorporated after a 2-week dental outreach delivered more than $1.5 million worth of free services in Antigua and Barbuda. Well, according to the Ministry of Health, over 3,500 people received free dental care and oral health education, and teams carried out close to 8,500 dental services for almost 1,600 patients, treatment that would have cost millions of dollars privately. The ministry says services included over 700 cleanings, more than 1,000 extractions, 46 root canals, and 586 fillings, among other procedures. Officials say prevention was also a big part of the clinic, with over 7,500 oral hygiene kits distributed and just over 2,700 children receiving oral health lessons to help them build healthier habits early. Well, Health Minister Sir Maureen Joseph thanks the partners for what he calls a landmark outreach, but he also says the strong turnout highlights a hard reality. Many people need dental care but can't afford it under normal circumstances. The minister says government now plans to expand dental and oral health services in the public health system to help make more available and make it more sustainable. The clinic was held at the Multipurpose Cultural and Exhibition Center from January 19 to 30. In the meantime, Attorney General and Public Safety Minister Sir Stedford Benjamin says residents in St. John's Wood South should expect to see more police on the ground and more consistent staffing at the police outposts in the area. He says the plan is part of a broader push to tackle crime and violence in communities where residents have been calling for a stronger security presence. Stedford made the comments during a recent town hall meeting at Golden Grove Primary School. Arthur Goodwin has more.
Crime and security concerns dominated the town hall meeting at the Golden Grove Primary School. It also prompted a call from a former member of the Antigua and Barbuda Defense Force who urged the government to engage retired police officers and soldiers to assist with foot patrols and other forms of community engagement as part of efforts to strengthen safety and order. Public Safety Minister the Honorable Sir Stedford Benjamin explained that the establishment of the police outpost in the Golden Grove was intended to strengthen security in the area. However, he acknowledged that a shortage of manpower has made it difficult to adequately staff the facility.
But we have just recruited, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much, another 50 police officers who have been trained. And as soon as they are fully trained, my friend, Calypsonian, my brother, how are you? We shall be having that outstation, that outpost, always manned.
He adds that patrols were stepped up due to the problems within specific areas of the community. Meanwhile, the issue of wages for public servants was also raised during the meeting and addressed by Prime Minister the Honorable Gaston Brown.
Public servants who are governed by these collective bargaining agreements, the non-established and established public servants, they will be given an increase by July of this year. We've also agreed to that pensioners will get an increase. Statutory organizations and entities, companies that are owned by the government, we will also encourage them to do likewise.
Meanwhile, Sir Stedford Benjamin, who also serves as a Labour Minister, further assured that the National Minimum Wage Committee is now engaged in a review process, aiming to address the wider concerns regarding the cost of living across the country.
So when that committee submits its report, within the next 2 months or thereabouts, and the Prime Minister and his cabinet will meet on that recommendation, very soon thereafter, you will hear what is the national minimum wage.
Theresa Goodwin, ABS News.
In other news, the ECCB's new credit bureau is now live in Antigua and Barbuda and 4 other OECS countries. And Governor Timothy Antoine says while it's still early days, the region is expecting big results. Antoine says when credit bureaus come on stream, they usually do one major thing. They help credit grow because lenders get better information and more people can prove they're good for a loan.
It's still early to say, but we fully expect, based on experience around the world with credit bureaus, whenever credit bureaus have been established, credit has increased. So one of the things that we expect is that we will see more credit in our region. And this is critically important as we talk about the big push, because people have to be able to invest, to expand their businesses, and to grow economies and to create jobs.
Antoine says the next step is when everyday people really start to notice the change, when borrowers begin receiving their credit reports and using an app to check their own information. He says once that happens, the region should be in a stronger position to measure what this means in real life, whether loans get approved faster, whether more people can access credit, and whether interest rates could even come down as banks get a clearer picture of risk.
I think in the next few months, when people start to get their credit reports, when people start to access the app, because the Credit Bureau is working on an app which will allow you, me, and all of us to go on, log in, and access at certain points, when those things come into being, we are going to see the fuller benefits of the Credit Bureau and be able to evaluate its impact.
The Credit Bureau is currently live in Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Antoine says if global experience is any guide, the Currency Union should see real gains, especially as the ECCB pushes its goal of doubling GDP over the next decade. Well, it's now time to see what the skies have in store for us. We had some fairly settled weather around the island, but let's see what's coming up next. Here with the details is our meteorologist, Leonard Josiah.
And ahead of the year, Antigua and Barbuda, and ahead of over the west with dry weather conditions here in Antigua and Barbuda. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the details of our weather forecast.
The weather report is brought to you by Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection.
When storms like Melissa hit, it's a reminder. Hurricane season is never far away. And with tariffs driving prices up, protecting your home now just makes sense. This February, Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection is offering a deal you can't afford to miss. Up to 30% off select accordion hurricane shutters in brown or white. Enjoy fast turnaround with just 50% down and the balance paid when your installation is complete. This inventory was secured before tariffs took effect, so stocks are limited. Call today before this deal is gone.
And hello there. We're taking a quick look at our satellite photograph. You're seeing the island chain all the way from Antigua and Barbuda all the way down south to Trinidad and Tobago. We're looking at Barbados. None of these islands are engulfed in any deep convective activity, but we see this weak frontal trough over Puerto Rico. This is the frontal trough that was right across the Leeward Islands for the past couple of days, has now migrated towards the north and is going to be lingering across this area for the next couple of days. And we're saying that the higher chances of showers will be in this neck of the woods. So if you're traveling to the Virgin Islands, even Puerto Rico, look out for some cloudy skies. But if you're traveling further towards the south, we're looking at generally stable weather conditions, even though there is a weak trough just to the east that is forecast to come across us during the course of the morning hours tomorrow. And it's very likely that we'll see a passing shower or two, but it's really a competition between the trough and the much needed moisture levels. So tonight, we're still looking for generally partly cloudy skies. We have given it a slight chance of a passing shower. It may be higher, but even though the showers might be passing a light, take a look at your overnight lows at 21 or just about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Take a look at where your winds will be blowing out of easterly at just about 10 knots. They're not going to be too great in the next couple of days. Wake up tomorrow morning, you'll see the morning sunrise at 5:32. The sun will set tomorrow afternoon at 6:10. For the next couple of days, this is what we can forecast. We're looking at just about a low chance of some showers, a moderate chance of some showers on Wednesday and on Thursday, generally partly cloudy skies. None of these days are registering anything more than 50% chance of showers, so it's relatively dry. We're looking at winds out of the east. They're just about 10 miles an hour. Take a look at your daytime highs, getting a little warmer, but your nighttime temperatures nice and manageable. The seas have returned to normal, and for the next couple of days, they will be hovering just between 5 and 6 feet, and that's generally during the course of the coastal area. Yes, you can return to your coastal activities. Those of you who are going to be on the open waters, look out, there's just a caution in play. So atmospheric stability will keep rainfall activity minimal for the next couple of days, and your seas have returned to normal and suitable for your sea bathing activities. The weather will always change, but you can continue to weather the weather in spite of the weather, whether you like it or not. I'll turn you over to Jamie for the continuation of the news. Good night.
I'm worrying, but I like it. Good news there.
That's great stuff.
But after the break, we'll come back with some regional news. Cuba's energy crisis is putting pressure on essential services, and Barbados is getting set to swear in a new cabinet and parliament. Those regional updates are next. Stay tuned.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like your boat when you're at sea and you get away from everything. Your home and the security of your daughter's things. And the car that you've had for too long, but after all these years, you just can't let go. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
Caribbean numbers come and play. Just one single dollar, that is the way. You can pick one number or two or three. I win up to 20,000, you see.
Play Caribbean numbers today. With just $1, you could win $60,000, $1,200, or $20,000 with Quiniela, Parlay, or Tripleta, and 3 draws a day.
3 ways to play, 3 draws a day, 3 ways to win. Hear what we say. Caribbean numbers is the easiest game to play. So play today.
The FIFA World Cup is coming, and all eyes are on Lamine Yamal.
You like it?
Welcome back to the ABS Evening News. Now time for regional developments. Well, in the region tonight, Cuba is still grappling with a deepening energy crisis, and it's now hitting critical services across the island. Authorities say the shortages are affecting daily life, including healthcare and transport. But the government and communities are mobilizing to keep essential services going. Cuban officials blame the situation on tightened U.S. sanctions, while residents continue to adapt and push through the challenges. Here's more from Teleshow.
The shortage has required the government and the people to take action throughout the country. In this context, priority is given to the health and education sectors, putting human life above all else. The party's top leaders, together with the people, supervise everything from health, transportation, and academic areas to production zones. Meanwhile, the peoples of the world are showing solidarity and preparing vital assistance for the island.
It is not enough. Even if you work, it is not enough. But it does give us a chance to deal with the situation we are in, to see how we can, with the little fuel we have, put service vehicles to work in administrative activities and in supporting hospitals, which also allows us to move patients.
is set to swear in its new cabinet and parliamentarians tomorrow. The ceremony will take place at Carifta House in Waterford, St. Michael, and is scheduled to get underway at 10 a.m. Officials will take the oaths of office before President His Excellency Jeffrey Bostic. Prime Minister Mia Moore Motley and Attorney General Wilfred Abrahams were already sworn in last Thursday during a brief ceremony at State House in the presence of family members and invited guests. Well, still ahead here on the ABS Evening News, fresh violence in Gaza is raising new questions about the ceasefire, and Washington, the U.S. Secretary of State, is striking a new tone on relations with Europe. That's all coming up after a break.
Did you know that human resources has many specializations? While some of us do a little bit of everything,
others are experts. Some focus on talent selection and recruitment, helping you find the right people to drive success.
Others specialize in training and development, giving your team the skills to reach business goals. And some lead in employee relations,
ensuring compliance with labor laws and a safe, positive workplace.
No matter the HR specialization, we work every day to empower your people and advance your organization.
This Love Month, put heart health first. Join the Medical Benefits Scheme's Steps for Life Heartbeat Walk on Sunday, 22nd February 2026 at 3:30 p.m. Starting at the MBS headquarters, we'll walk to Old Palm Road and return to MBS. Dress in creative green and bring someone you love. Prizes for the best green attire in 3 categories: couples, children 5 to 11, and seniors 60 plus. Register today at mbsprevention@mbs.gov.ag or call 481-6352 or 6266. Follow us on social media for updates, and let's step for life.
Welcome back. Turning to international news. In the Middle East, new Israeli strikes have hit the Gaza Strip, with Palestinian civil defense officials saying at least 12 people were killed. The attacks are being described as a breach of the ceasefire, with both Israel and Hamas trading blame. Authorities say more than 600 Palestinians have been killed since the truce began last October, raising fresh concerns about the stability of the agreement. Here's more from France 24.
Bereaved family members are mourning their loved ones killed in another wave of Israeli strikes. One man who lost his nephew says civilians were targeted in a displacement camp in Jabalia.
Israel doesn't care about ceasefires and truces. We lived under a truce for months, and yet they targeted us. Israel operates on the principle of saying one thing and doing another.
As they ferry bodies into the hospital, many are questioning the validity of the US brokered peace plan.
Do you believe that Trump will come here to defend us? He's the one supplying Israel with all sorts of deadly weapons, supplying it with money, with political support, with protection.
Israel and Hamas regularly accuse each other of breaching the ceasefire. Nearly 600 Palestinians and 4 Israeli soldiers have been killed since the deal went into effect in October.
And from the United States, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is offering a reassuring message about America's relationship with Europe under President Donald Trump. Rubio says the tougher, more blunt tone used in recent months was meant to push for a reset and a stronger, more balanced transatlantic partnership going forward. He told reporters the aim is to rebuild trust and cooperation on both sides of the Atlantic. Here's more from the Associated Press.
We made these mistakes together. And now, together, we owe it to our people to face those facts and to move forward, to rebuild. Under President Trump, the United States of America will once again take on the task of renewal and restoration, driven by a vision of a future as proud, as sovereign, and as vital as our civilization's past. And while we are prepared, if necessary, to do this alone, it is our preference and it is our hope to do this together with you, our friends here in Europe. For the United States and Europe, we belong together. And so this is why we Americans may sometimes come off as a little direct and urgent in our counsel. This is why President Trump demands seriousness and reciprocity from our friends here in Europe. The reason why, my friends, is because we care deeply. We care deeply about your future and ours.
It's time to shift gears now because Terry is standing by with all the action in the sports tonight. Terry, what do you have for us?
Well, hi, Jamie. Of course, the Windies have advanced to the Super 8 stage of the ICC T20 World Cup with a win today over Nepal. We'll tell you more about that story. Plus, we have local cricket reactions from the top of the table clash between Liberta and CMW Newey Chubs Lions. Plus, we have Premier League football from Saturday. Those stories are ahead for us when we come back. Stay with us.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retirement?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point-of-sale machines?
Absolutely. All point-of-sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.
Welcome back. As promised, we begin with cricket. The West Indies advanced to the Super 8 with a clinical and resounding 9-wicket win against Nepal at the ICC T20 World Cup on Sunday. Playing at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, West Indies restricted Nepal for 133 for 8. Player of the match, Jason Holder, was instrumental in the Windies' bowling attack. He captured 4 for 27, which kept the Nepali batters constantly on the back foot. Dipendra Singh Ayers, 47, ball 58, led with the bat. Akil Hussain, Waston Chase, Shamal Joseph and Matthew Ford picked up a wicket apiece. In reply, unbeaten knocks from Captain Shea Hope with 5 fours and 3 sixes in 61, and Shimron Hitmaya with 46, inclusive of 4 fours and 2 sixes, led the Windies to their target of 134 in 15.2 overs. Shea Hope expresses delight in advancing to the Super 8 stage.
That was a great feeling. That's what we set out to do from the jump. And when we got on the plane to come here, that was our first step. We all want to lift the trophy, but there's a process to get there. So playing our best cricket, hopefully we can continue to peak and keep growing as a strong unit in all departments. And when the time comes, those crunch time come, we can always seize those moments and ensure we're on top. Credit must be given to our bowlers for winning the toss one, and then making it difficult for the Nepalese batters to get off that flyer that they have been getting off to in the tournament. So it's great signs for us as a bowling group. The batting also.
Meanwhile, India are also through to the Super 8 stage of the tournament. They put away Pakistan by 61 runs in a much-anticipated clash in Colombo. India posted 175 for 7 in their 20 overs allotment. Ishan Kishan led with 77 from 40 balls at the top of the order, hitting 10 boundaries and 3 sixes. Surya Kumar Yadav added 32. Saim Ayub picked up 3 for 25 in 4 overs. In reply, Pakistan's reply, overall bowling effort toppled the Pakistani batters for 118. Jasprit Bumrah, Varun Chakravarti, Axar Patel and Hardik Pandya grabbed 2 wickets apiece. Now to cricket here at home. Liberta Blackhawks prevailed by 5 wickets against CMW Newey Chubs Lions in the ABCA 2-day competition at Liberta on Sunday to extend their lead at the top of the standings. Well, Newey Chubs Lions are 89 for 9 declared and 131 for 10. And Liberta 98 and 128 for 5. Captain of the Blackhawks, Kareem Agor, reacted to the low-scoring affair.
A lot of small chatter was out there,
But the pitch is really good. I consider the pitch a really good pitch. Ball was really spinning and stuff. You know, once you put in something, you get it out. But the batsmen on both teams never really put down their heads and, you know, came out with good scores that, you know, it would be challenging for our next team to come up against.
Also reacting to the low-scoring affair was Cameron Pennyfeather of New Inchops Lions. He scored 66, the top scored in that match, but his Lions went under by 5 wickets to the Blackhawks.
Go in the first innings, so we were probably looking to apply ourselves a little better in the second innings. That didn't work out for the rest of the batting, but happy I could get a score, and we look forward to the next game. We didn't have a really good first innings, pretty low. Ended up bowling out Liberta pretty low as well. Coming into the second innings, another low score, 130, 127. We'd like to get a little bit more than that, probably give them about 200 to chase, 220, but that didn't work out. So just the batting really, the batting probably needs to step up for the next game.
We will have a full report on that match in subsequent newscasts. In other results, Pickett Squashers crushed Bethesda by 246 runs. Also, Jennings Tigers won by an innings and 216 runs over Boland's Blasters. And All Saints Pythons won by 170 runs over tertiary institutions and schools. Empire Nation as well won by an innings and 61 runs. Well, a full report on the day's matches in a subsequent newscast. And finally, in football, big win for Grenades FC in the ABFA Premier Division on Saturday night. Here's more in this report. Former champions Grenades FC hammered John Hughes FC 4-0 at the ABFA's Technical Center. Barrington Blake opened the scoring from the penalty spot in the 35th minute. 3 minutes later, Malcolm Stewart doubled his side's advantage with a close-range effort. Then also in the 38th, Keanu Barrett's left-footed shot from outside the area gave Grenades a 3-0 lead in the first period. Substitute Joshua Ferdinand would add the fourth in the 74th, beating Tevin Tucker in goal for John Hughes through his legs. Well, also on Saturday, Green City won by a 4-0 margin over Jennings United, and Attacking Saints defeated Potters Tigers 2-0. Full highlights, of course, coming up in a subsequent newscast. Jamie?
Well, I appreciate it, Terry. And that's the kind of result that makes Caribbean people sleep a little easier tonight. Windies, a convincing win, and a ticket to the Super 8.
Awesome.
Before we go, a reminder to join us in the morning on Antigua Barbuda today. Starting at 6 a.m., we'll be talking to Enjoy Colorful Rain, The Girls Guide, Gender Affairs, UE5 Islands, and Foreign Affairs. That's Antigua Barbuda today, 6 a.m., right here tomorrow. Well, that's the news tonight. I am Jamie J. Roche. Stay sharp, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.